We're doing, okay, we're doing live. All right, good evening. I call this meeting to order at 6:03. Pardon the tardy. Would you please stand with me if you're able and say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Ms. Letourneau, will you please take attendance?
Absolutely. Dr. Breckenridge-Pettit.
Here.
Dr. Hill.
Here.
Mrs. Lundberg is not in attendance this evening. Mrs. Pascal. Here. Dr. Rhodes. Here. Ms. Schiffman. Here. And Mr. Vaughn.
Here.
Excellent. Okay. Next on the agenda, there is an agenda out on the table if any of you need them, but you're all pretty regulars. We don't print those out. We don't print those. There were no changes. Okay. You see you're on it. Okay, but now we are going to board member comments. Does anybody have a comment they'd like to make? Go, Jen.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Your facilities update was amazing. That's a crazy amount of work. So thank you to you, your team, and really everyone who got everything ready for our students this year.
I know there was a big surge. Well, there's always a summer surge, but you guys are looking pretty darn great. Thanks for those, Jen. Anybody else?
To make a comment on the same lines, just thank you to everybody for getting back to school. I know it's a lot of work. I was at the elementary school today. They just looked great. The kids are excited. So thank you guys for all the effort.
And then coming here tonight. I mean, it's great.
High school looks awesome, Sean. Thank you, guys.
I was just gonna say, was it just at the last board meeting, which was all the way back in June, we had a discussion about teen alcohol use in our community and had some community partners there. So I just want to give a little update. So the book club Salida, they've done some big book club reads with Jesse last year on different books related to adolescents. And they are going to be hosting or helping us host another one on October 16th. So it's a Friday at 9 a.m. So we'll start to circulate that flyer, but hopefully I started the book. I think it's really good. I think it's an important conversation. And so the hospital's gonna get involved and provide some help for us, and also public health and then the book club in the district. So getting a lot of adults on the same page to talk about a topic that's really impacting our teens. So spread the word.
Would you remind me of the title? The addiction.
The title of the book is
Addiction.
The Addiction Inoculation.
Addiction Inoculation. Elijah, do you need any more details about that if you're in addiction?
I mean, once the flyer may be getting a few more updates, and then it'll be getting dispersed more.
Okay. Okay, so we haven't gone live yet.
I mean, I've sent it to some people, and then we realized maybe we need to add some elements to it. So
Okay, circling
haven't
back.
officially
Right,
sent it.
okay. Right. And we were trying to keep up with the Salida Book Club.
yeah.
With their speed is they're a little more nimble than we are.
Well, and I think like they've done these book clubs with Jesse last year. So when we first started talking about it, it felt like kind of a natural, like, okay, well, let's get this ball rolling.
Okay.
And yeah, Samantha and Deb did a great job of, boom, here's a date, here's a flyer, let's go.
Okay. Excellent. Thanks for that input. Anybody else? I would like to speak about one. It's that we are living civics. Tonight, we have two organizations that worked together over years, and we are going to sign an MOU with the county for the potential for land. If a board in the future, in a decade, if that's what they are interested in doing, they have that option. It's tricky. You're inherently not interested in getting rid of land in general. And we don't know what, as the school board, if we'll even grow and if we'll grow out there, but it's really, really nice to have that option for folks that are going to be sitting in our chairs, and I'm pretty fired up that it worked out. So thank you. Okay.
And I just wanted to say, I know the obituary came out today, but for those of you who didn't know, Will Waddell, Mr. Waddell passed away on Saturday. He was surrounded by his family. But he spent 13 years serving select schools and many more serving other school districts. But first as a principal at Salida Middle School, and then as assistant superintendent. And I know he'll be ever present in our community through the kids that he touched through enhancing their lives throughout his career. And so in honor of his amazing service that he did through his service of our community through our children, I was wanting to ask for a moment of silence for his family and for him to lift him up. If we can do that. Thank you. I know we'll all remember him fondly.
Thank you very much for that. I don't see any purple cards. Does anybody want to make a public comment that hasn't filled out a purple card? Well, let's just keep moving down the road. And we are approving the agenda without a single change, which is kind of the way to kick off the school year, because that means that, well, Kim's always got it together, but I don't. Okay, may I have a motion to approve this agenda? Thanks, Mandy.
Second.
Thanks, Ben. Go ahead. Is there any discussion on the agenda? I didn't think so.
All right, yes, Dr. Breckenridge Pettit,
Aye.
Dr. Hill.
Aye.
Mrs. Pascal.
Aye.
Dr. Rhodes,
Aye.
Ms. Schickman. And Mr. Vaughn.
Aye.
Okay, we're moving to 2B on campus reports. I know that there was just a video about giving the great update and you flipped the boardroom really nicely. Thanks for all that good news. But there are several things that you wanted to talk about more in depth.
Yeah, I think so. I would just tell the community it's been a fabulous start to the year. Everything's in good shape from facilities, technology. We've had struggles. Enrollment's on deck and all the teachers are and all the positions are filled. We've got great staff. Like it's really, really great place that we're in. So as we jump into details and talk about things that people had to do, I just don't want to miss out that things were in a really, really good spot as we're starting the year. It's a very, very smooth start. So today was the soft start of school where we have a lot of meet and greets and other stuff, getting the kids settled in a nice, gentle way. And then tomorrow's that hard start. But the students at the high school have been taking CMC classes since Monday. They changed their schedule, which is something we've never experienced before. And the kids were there. I've had more than one parent come and say, oh my gosh, my kid was up. I didn't know why they were up. And they were already at school engaged, which again talks about an amazing student body, great partnership that's working. That being said, I think I'd like to start off and just talk about the buses. So Evelyn, if you would talk about the electronic buses, kind of where that's at, where the project's at, and then
Okay,
ribbon cutting.
yeah, there's a couple of things. They were supposed to be here this week. Got a little bit of a setback. So now they're supposed to be here August 17th. I'll have training with the drivers on the 19th. Hopefully be rolling those two buses for Pinion. I'll go to Centerville and then Howard. Those two routes will start hopefully, we're all crossing our fingers. August 24th, we'll start running those buses. There's really no change. I mean, Jody did ask me about, we don't have them yet, but I am still running full buses. I'm still doing fine. We'll have everything covered. All my drivers are in. We have drivers. Jesse, thank you, is going to help out this year. And then September 23rd is going to be the groundbreaking day. So I need you guys to all put your calendar, September 23rd at 10 o'clock, 10:30ish. We'll do the groundbreaking for the electric buses. I will have it catered. You will be fed well. I promise, like always.
You never go hungry with food, Evelyn.
So yeah, it's kind of exciting. It's kind of nervous at the same time. We're gonna see how they work up here in the South Tube, what's gonna happen. But with the electric buses, I did go over the contract again. I did read everything through with Highland, with McCandless, and with Excel. I went through all of it with them. There's no fault too much to the school district. You guys are pretty much secure, so don't stress about that one. I know that contracts are kind of scary, especially this one's a pretty long one, but this one we are covered. We are pretty much covered under this one. So I think we'll be good. We're gonna have fun. I'm gonna make sure that you guys get a ride on them.
Okay, that's
They're
my question.
very, very quiet. You are gonna get at least to take a spin on a bus during that day, so it's like in between the day, so. And it's on a Wednesday, so there's not a lot of trips, so all the drivers would be there, and everybody should be able to take a ride.
Can you say again what time?
10 o'clock?
We'll get those, it's.
Yeah, once I get the time exactly down with the Canvas and Excel, I'll let you know. for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
got it held on your calendars, but yeah, as we get
Mhm.
those final details, we'll.
Yeah, final details will come in, but it'll be fun.
So I think that planning meeting with that team is on the 19th.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
the 19th with some of them, and then I have another meeting after that. We pretty much meet every other Monday right now.
That's how it's going.
Right now, the biggest is just getting Excel there to borrow the electricity, but we're there.
Okay.
So we're there.
I'll have Sean talk about next, but that's the kind of, go ahead. have
That's
some
for
more.
us, and then Sean did an awesome job for the bus 2 building. Got a place to park the bus. I'm gonna get down there with them pretty soon and pull a bus in there to make sure it fits. But yeah, Sean did a great job. Thank you.
It's good.
Getting that
All right.
coordinated and set up.
So the big thing, I'll let Sean talk more technical about it, but the big thing, of course, is just the electric grid's fragility. And the big part was really rewiring the middle school so that it had some more of the life and safety services backed up through the bus. So Sean, do you want to talk through all that?
Yeah, Evelyn pretty much managed the bus depot stuff. We just kind of collaborated on that piece, but the backup generation piece, SMS, Sturgeon is doing a ton of work right now. We lost a tree, which is totally fine. We're getting 2 in place of that. But they need a concrete pad, a place to put inverter, charger. They did all critical system loads, testing, everything. So I identified the things that we wanted to back up to give us some kind of backup generation in an outage, because it's pitch black in that school. Anybody that's been in there during lights out, it is dark.
Thank you, Bob.
Sturgeon's been great, Highland's been great. We had to say no to a couple of things because Excel was trying to push back and have the district pay for some things. And I've been working with David long enough now that I say no. And it worked. So they are doing that. In-house work is pretty much done. They are tying in the mechanical room, all the in-space classroom, gyms, hallways, all of that stuff. From door systems to IT to fire panel to
LED
HVAC
lights.
monitoring, all of our stuff. We will have backup generation. That is not to keep kids in school for 8 hours a day. It is to keep systems going so that we can safely get folks out, get kiddos out and get the kiddos where they need to be. But the project went really well. Things are tore up. Sturgeon is still there right now, but we are on schedule. But everything went pretty smooth. We're really good to work with, and we are getting a lot out of that project. So it is a big win for the district.
Leading in the state, so thank you for that. You guys are leading in the state, particularly with small, rural, and high altitude. And I wanted to compliment you on your leader development that you have going with transportation department. And Jesse, are you gonna drive the bus around the block?
I'm looking forward to getting behind the wheel of that cheese.
Excellent. Oh, wait, you're driving.
Yeah, so
You're driving.
Sean, look, if we started there, that's the big one. I'll just throw out projects because we had a ton of them and you just give the updates. Building automation system.
Yeah, it's built, the new platform is built, took a few months, started at the end of April. That's at the 3 big schools. We will eventually look to tie other things in, but the platform is built. Tolan has been great about that. We've had some technical difficulty. Obviously, you guys are aware of that. It's kind of holding us up from full launch. Josh and the crew have had a lot on plate, but they are helping us get there. And as soon as we have that, right now we are kind of operating 2 systems, the old system and the new system. But we're managing it and we are looking to full launch that. That project is about 100% complete. And once we have access and can start running and testing in beta, we're running and we're operating with more functionality. Systems are running with more control, which is what we needed from the get-go. And that's why we kind of chased that project. And it came in at a really nice number from where we originally went, about 700K less. So that's a win for us too. So we're excited to launch that soon. We're just not there, but that'll keep you guys.
And of course, Longfellow HVAC system was a big frustration last year and it's
User.
successful right now. Do you want to talk about that?
Yep. We have identified significant amount of issues and repairs that needed to be done in that building. I guess the struggles and torture we went through last year this time have really catapulted us to better systems there, identifying repairs. Again, the collaboration with Tolling has proven to just be amazing. So yeah, systems are much better. The overall plant health there is much better. Folks are in the building now. They're not hot and sweaty and yelling at us. So everybody's in the building. We are happy with temperatures outside. Because with full load and kiddos and 95-degree air coming into glorified swamp coolers, it doesn't bode well for us. But we have put a bunch of resources, efforts, and monies into that system there and across the board, and it's just been improving. So we are in a much better way right now. Folks are happy. We got smiles.
All right, Longfellow, you want to talk about the asphalt project? Because people will be seeing that, but we
Yep.
pushed that in at the
Yep.
last minute.
The asphalt project was obviously not a cap. This was, we identified safety concerns there. The asphalt is as long, is as old as the building is. And there were pretty significant cracks out on the playground, and with the volume of those, we decided to make the call. Spent a little money there, but it was very unsafe for kiddos, little ankles, feet, knees in those cracks and whatnot. So we went ahead and did that. That happened on Monday. We expedited that. They are done and it will be open for tomorrow. So that is a safe playground for us.
So it's cured in time for the person. Okay.
Yeah, we had somebody walk under enter yesterday afternoon, said repair some stuff. So that's why I was closed today.
Oops.
Signage doesn't work, so we just walk here.
Was it anybody on the school board? Okay, okay, okay.
No, but we know we needed to do that, and that's something we will talk about and you guys will see for next year. Parking lots, sidewalks, that kind of stuff haven't been done in years, and it's a safety concern. So that may be cap stuff we start looking at and phasing, but we started there and we just said, this is the highest volume playground we have, and just took care of our kiddos there. So we just went ahead and did that piece.
Great. You want to jump over to the high school, which is mainly just the stadium conversations? We don't need to go into the
Yeah,
bathroom right now. That's on later.
Yeah, other than LEDs throughout the district has started, that project was super successful and has made a huge impact, which we will also see utility savings for going to LEDs. And now we don't have dark spaces because we can actually have product lights because we couldn't get that stuff. The gyms we made sure we did in high school just for our programming. That is not on until next year, but we prioritize that because of our programming and sports.
You said the topics.
Yep, which the other piece of that is once we got the LEDs in, we realized how nasty things looked and hadn't been painted in a while. So we went ahead and we painted the main gym and we painted the middle school gym as well and just gave it a real fresh look, so that looks good. Stadium track project, resurfacing project happened pretty quickly. It was scheduled for June. They jumped on it and ended up taking a week longer and ended up being a 2-part. That's why we don't have lines on it right now. They are scheduled to come out this Thursday and Friday. They're not being nice about it anymore. To get that done for us, and then that will be buttoned up. Any of you that have been out there, it is a huge upgrade, but that needed to be redone. So this will buy us some time, but even this company that we had some struggles. There are some heavier spray areas. There are some lighter sprays. The amount of wear and tear that was there, the final finish may not be exactly where we wanted everywhere, but it was what needed to be done in order to give us what we were looking for. So lines will be on here pretty soon. We're not happy that it's taking time into our daily operation. That was supposed to be done ahead of time, but I'm chasing them. I'm on them. They have 22 schools across the country that they did this summer, and that's why things were getting 2 separate crews. So I'm chasing that. I'm waiting for final confirmation, but tentatively right now it is Thursday, Friday of this week. I'm sorry, this week.
Okay.
That'll be buttoned up. There wasn't a very big solution for the crusher fines that go around the track. It drives everybody nuts. It'll probably damage our surface. So what I did ask as requested, GA, what can we do there? What can we put down or whatnot? We chased asphalt, we chased concrete. That is a significant amount of money for the equipment needed to do very limited amount of work. So in the end, their recommendation was to use rock and mulch glue to keep that in place. It's applied. That could be a quick over. We have a contractor that's going to be doing that for us. It's supposed to be applied yesterday, but with the weather, it's got to wait to dry up. So that'll keep things in place. That'll keep us where we need to be until we hopefully our redo in a couple few years. We can look at redoing everything and put whatever surface we want to in place at that time. But there wasn't an option for them to just spray over that. It wouldn't adhere. It needs a substrate to adhere to. So that's why we had to kind of go hybrid there. But that will be done as soon as we get that dried out, and that'll at least keep that stuff in place for now.
One more place, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And then just back to the lights real quick. So they're done at every building but Early Childhood Center and the high school.
Yep.
Early Childhood Center will be done really this semester here,
Yeah.
in the weekends and breaks.
There's
It's a local
Plug and
company.
away when they can get in. Aaron has worked with Jam Builders to do percentage billing and whatnot. Monies are there, but Aaron's doing a great job of that piece. We're just making sure that if they get on Christmas and keep plugging away, we can maybe have it done even before next summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
What's the state requirement for that to be finished?
they gave everyone 3 years, but then they got rid of the ability to replace any incandescent bulbs.
Right.
Right,
I know
so
that infinite
those
mandate.
are two
Yeah,
different
right.
answers.
Right.
So they gave you a leeway, but then took you out at the knees, forced us in that situation. Of course, it's hard, does all, that all just go in the dumps, so. That's where all that material will go. So. Let's jump then over to middle school, which had the most action again.
Yeah, so it's fed bill, we landed, skin of our teeth, we got from CO yesterday, so we had moved them in, they were ready for first day of school. New appliances, we got furniture, some stuff going in, met with the team, we've been kind of mobilizing, making sure we're getting them set up. It was the original plan that we wanted. Dave and I went back to the think tank, didn't think we were gonna get it for the money, asked them for different phases and such. They delivered this product and project for exactly what we were looking for. So that is ready to go, stop in there, it's a great new addition, it's great learning spaces for those kiddos, and that's that. So that is done, it's complete, we are CO, we are ready to go, so we can sign off and check. So, yeah, that was a big one, I know it took a couple of years, and we had to keep going back to the drawing board, but we're there, it's delivered, it's open, it's ready to go.
And climbing wall?
So climbing the wall went phenomenal. That company was great to work with. We were hung up on, they came in, knocked it out in a week. It is a world-class wall for anybody that knows anything about climbing, take a look. Even the guys who installed it want to come back and climb it. The one thing they have to come out and set handholds and route, and they have to get crash pads and mount flooring. The manufacturer was delayed on getting that to them. That is supposed to be this Friday. I spoke to the project manager yesterday, and they should have that out, and that project will be finalized as well. Yeah, that's another rockstar one too. I think it's going to be great for our kiddos. Programming, Dan's really geeked out about that. That's a big one. That's really special project. So we got that one too.
That's great. It's not really a capital project, but it's worth mentioning tree line. I think our landscaping contract this year was
Yep.
significantly different than what we've seen for years.
Yeah, they have been phenomenal. What they're delivering for us is priority, attention to detail, even with restrictions and whatnot we're dealing with. They're doing a top-notch job. It was really a great move to go away from that. We found some things out interim why we went over budget. We were kind of, oh, we need to do this project, that project. Some of that stuff we probably didn't need to do. I think we were a little misled by our previous contractor. These guys just care about what they're doing. They're on our properties all the time. They're even doing more, and it's a really good experience right now. We've had compliments across the board from community members and such. We're just dealing with water stuff right now. So things are a little less green than we want to be. But they're doing all the things we have not been able to get to for quite some time. So
Okay.
everywhere across the district.
It's great.
It's good.
Yeah.
Sean has been pushing in contractors. I appreciate holding them accountable this summer. I thought you've done a good job of that space, but I don't know if anybody wanted to jump in on any of these topics or.
I think that was most of it. Kitchen equipment we got in for Andrea. So the new kitchen equipment that you guys approved over at LES. That was a really good project as well. We got that done. Andrea's crew had training and such on Monday and are looking to start firing stuff. So that was another too. Part of that was we wanted to move the kitchen equipment out of LES over to ECC or whatnot. That won't work. So we might have to revisit and do some things. There's too much HVAC to be done there.
Oh,
You can't
okay.
just plug something in that's not under the fire hood.
Got it.
So it's a small kitchen. So that's something we're still chatting about and trying to do. We still have the equipment, but it's not gonna go anywhere.
Where's that stored?
Our comics or our shop.
The comics, okay.
We keep that stuff.
I might be able to. That's the
Yeah.
stuff we'll work on this year.
Okay.
I think that's most of it, right, David?
I think so. It was a very busy summer.
I was gonna say, that's an amazing amount of stuff.
And the mulch, you need the mulch too.
Yeah, and that's
Really
just
nice.
outside of that's not even our in-house stuff that we do.
The regular
Right,
summer.
the QCs, the studs, quality checks in every single room in the district. The custodial crew, you guys know what they do. We had 2 weeks less because we wanted to be out of the way before. We've got a good team, they care, and they did a phenomenal job. It's one of the most successful like summers that we have had in my time here. And we are definitely getting thank yous for that. So that feels really good. Yeah. Yep. I think that's about it on our side. Yeah, I think it's about it that we had on the big stuff for you guys.
Anybody have any questions? Multiple skillet?
No, thank
Anything?
you.
Okay.
Are the prices for what we paid in the packet? I didn't see like what we paid for like the asphalt fix. Like maybe it's.
No,
Is
that's, I can get that stuff to you. We did that. It was out of like, we were gonna go out of ops budget and then maybe you guys can discuss what that looks like. But we knew it was something we needed to do for safety. So that came out of ops budget and we can discuss where.
Well, and everything else was approved in previous.
Yeah, for the cat projects, you would have gotten each check that we wrote for those on the cat detail listing. And I can get you an update on exactly what we spent versus budget on all those if you want. But also the pieces that he was talking about that are like operations versus the cost of history operations would come in the actual full check service. Usually wasn't for every month, but that's harder to parse out what's what. So if you have questions.
You have some river guide estimate on what that was? That
I think it was
asphalt?
at 16K to do that.
Yeah.
And most of the money isn't in the seal coat. It is in actually having to fill very large cracks and then use mastic to keep it in place. And then the seal coat's the least expensive piece of that. But to keep
Wait,
it in
it's
place,
that deep?
protect our investment.
That
Yeah,
wide and that
there
deep?
were-
Yeah.
there was some that
Who's a
were
kindergartner?
5 to 6 inches deep. So we just prioritized that and did it.
So I think we're in good shape. I don't think we're in over budget. We'll be really good. So the stadium bathrooms we'll talk about later, and we've got a recommendation, talk through that. I think it's probably time to think a little deeper, maybe before we keep moving forward, but we can talk about that later. That's why that project wasn't done this summer, is because every time we tried to put a shovel in the ground, it was like, kept having to do more and more research. And so we were just not rushing it. Want to get it right. And I think we're glad at this moment that we were cautious, thoughtful, both on all sides. So Jam Builders was a local, and JENF Electric. A lot of the projects went to them, particularly on the electrical stuff. They also helped replace a lift in the auto shop. So we bought that lift and they had to come in and do the electricity. And then I just found out this week CMC actually did go through, I didn't hear earlier, and they bought the other 2 lifts. So those will be replaced here in the fall. And so all the auto shop lifts.
They're in delivery somewhere right
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting. It's just exciting. Our district's gotten more grants from any other rural district in the state that I know of, and there's no one close. Like, that's where the money's at. We're gonna go get it. And making it happen. So I appreciate Sean's team, as they're doing that space. Let's jump over to tech, because it was an exciting year and we haven't had an official board meeting since the excitement started.
Since the big
So I'll give the general layman's term of what happened, and then you can go as technical as you want. Yes.
one moment, Elijah.
Sorry, there's a lot of you I don't know, so those of you who don't have a name tag in front of you, if you could just announce your first and last name before speaking, that'd be super helpful.
Absolutely.
Okay. Sean Clark,
Yes.
Sean Clark.
Facility Manager.
Facilities Director.
Evelyn Parks, Transportation Manager.
EVALYN though. That's the
Yes.
spell.
She knows me.
Oh, you know.
Josh Buckberg, Technology Manager. Josh Buckberg, Technology Manager.
Josh Buckberg.
Yeah, BUCKBERG.
Thank you.
So this summer, at the end of June, we had a cyber incident where somebody got in through our Active Directory. I like to think of it as a junk drawer that still had leftover stuff. They found code from COVID era. And that's what they were able to leverage to get in the door and that space. When they got in though, it's like someone trying to rob you, and they're trying to rob you of data. They didn't find anything. They did not get anything. There was no data breach at any level. So they kind of took a baseball bat to what they could get their hands on. So those were some of the computers. Those of us who work 12 months, like my computer, as an example. And then the Active Directory, the domain, and then we had local stuff around our video and door access management and badge readers. So those are the three big areas, and they took a baseball bat to those. And so we had to replace those, but that was not as big a deal. We already approved a capital project to replace the firewalls. So that was waiting for July 1. So that was perfectly timed and paid for by E-rate. Mostly paid for by E-rate. We already had all the rest of the wiring scheduled through E-rate projects for this summer that allowed us to do those pieces. And we already had the docket for this year to replace the badge reader and video camera system. So we'd already done lots of bids. We had bids, I think, from 5 or 6 different companies about 12, 18 months ago. And so we're kind of ready in that sense. You'll see some consent agenda items. Technology. Technology is kind of our partner, particularly through E-rate. E-rate's the big federal government that gives us about 40 cents on the dollar for a lot of these technology purchases, like wires, firewalls, things like that. And that's why you have an action item tonight where you have to approve. They wanted one of our policies special approved. So that's why it's on there. It's already been approved many times, but they wanted it on there again. So that's why it's on there. And that's why in consent agenda, you have those couple line items for domain and door access and videos. So Josh said, well, this will take about 60 days. I said, you have 2 weeks. And because students and staff are coming back, that doesn't work, fix it. And then I was like, what about the front doors? He was like, we can't lock those, fix it. You have 2 weeks. And he hired some extra people who came in, who were lovely, and they fixed it. They pulled it off with Technologent, and Vercato was the other company who was kind of the door access people in the video cameras. We'd already kind of identified them as the company we were interested in. And so they actually pulled it off. And so somebody did that, and I want to give Roz over here, join the team. At least wave.
Oh, you were the surge crew?
She was part of the search, yeah.
Oh,
Surge crew,
crew
the
that came in
extra
to help.
people we brought on to make it happen in
I
time.
didn't know that.
And so Roz did a ton of work of just calling every single staff member, trying to make sure they had their stuff backed up. And
But are you still working in the library?
it's just
Would let go of your library.
she did not switch jobs. And so I don't know, Josh, if we were to look at student computers, which would be Chromebooks, where do you think we're at?
Chromebooks were not impacted by the attack, so they are in a good spot. We did have to update some of the systems, including what's on here, the SIPA filter that is deployed on Chromebooks, changed from Deladeo to Gaggle as part of classroom management, but all in all, it's doing the same thing. And so those are, as far as we know, completely ready, and they were not impacted by the attack.
And then Windows devices or staff computers, basically.
Yes, those were definitely impacted by the attack, and that's pretty much the extent of what they got. Was the access to the Microsoft environment, and so anything that's on Microsoft that we were running at that time, if it was on the network when the attack happened, it got a script that said, "Hey, encrypt my files, put them under a password that unless this organization pays a certain amount of money, we're not going to let you have that." And so we acted pretty quickly, though, to stop the spread. I think within 90 minutes, we had an email out to all staff saying, "Hey, please do not turn on your computer." And I think that saved a lot of, heartache for now, because most
teachers.
almost every teacher's documents that they teach from were safe. And big shout out to Roz, who we had spoken before kind of all this happened about her coming on and helping this summer to do a lot of the inventory and some of the optimizing that we had planned to do across the summer. And she turned out to be an incredible asset for the district to help coordinate, staff coming into HEA. I want to give a huge shout out to Service for letting us completely ransack HEA for a little bit and use that as sort of the primary triage unit for tech. And we got there. We're mostly back on the Windows side, but I want to thank the board for, 2 or 3 years ago, we identified there are way too many single points of failure within the district and the system. And we have worked pretty tirelessly across really every single window that we have available to do a major upgrade or change, which is essentially the 2 months in summer and 3 weeks in the winter when there really aren't people here and we can be invasive. And we got enough single points of failure solved so that when we got attacked and we lost our entire Microsoft environment, we were writing POs again within 24 hours. And we were able to, we call it in the enterprise world business continuity. That has been sort of the goal the whole time, and I think we saw it succeed.
We're about 95% on kind of staff computers. All the classrooms are up and operational. So there's at least a printer everybody can use. I think printers will be another 2 weeks. There'll be a few people who are like, okay, you gave me this solution. Can I get a better long-term solution? We'll start to work on that. And then there's optimization. I think the key thing to know is the new systems that we have actually give us a much better control and management, and allow us to push out stuff to every computer naturally and natively without having to touch everything. So it's actually going to reduce our overall maintenance of stuff. And so it's a good job. It's you and Jake. Make sure you get some sleep here.
Right.
In a month or two, I'll let you sleep. And you guys did amazing on that sense. Yeah, please.
The other questions coming about the clients. And again, credit to Josh on this because we did submit a claim to our insurance company.
Not to those clients.
And so we have money coming from that one final soon, if I don't have the exact numbers, but Josh is huge in that because I know insurance, but when they get on and they go, so tell me about the domain, I'm like, sure, we get Josh. So he worked a lot of that, but they actually are helping pay with quite a bit of recovery. And some of the labor things recovered. So the policy is about 10,000 a year. Probably gonna get about 80,000 back out of that this year. Plus they did a forensics, bunch of interviews and searched our system to see how they got in. We're able to come back and say there's nothing wrong. And see
We
they're
recovered.
acting against pieces. So it ended up it's super valuable. And like David said, lots of it's prepared to be replaced. So some of the stuff they're replacing actually is now they're going to take care of because we've got not simply cameras and things like that at a couple facilities. They're going to support some on that. So just so you know, there's financial coming from that and you rate, and I'll have a final number for you.
So I told Josh we'll start to optimize when we take these newer programs, saying how can we make them work even better versus just operational, making sure that they function to get school going. So that'll be probably in October. We'll start to jump through that. And then we will have some more. We just brought back up the video camera system because that is not life and safety. That's investigatory. That's what its purpose is. It's after the fact. How can you explore and in principle figuring out who started the fight, whether, Mike started the fight or, Evelyn started the fight. We can actually look into that. And so that's what those are. They're not, but we got them propped back up and then we'll have to really look at that. That could be another cost that's coming, January or something like that, once we really have a chance to slow down and look at it carefully. So, Josh, anything else you want me to cover? I just want to compliment again, 3 years ago, if this would have happened, we would have lost everything and there was no data breach. I mean, it's amazing. The Department of Ed didn't do that well this last week.
No.
Multi-billion-dollar companies are not doing as well. We are very, very thankful.
Same group shut down production for Asahi beer, which is like the biggest one for about 3 weeks last fall.
Oh,
They targeted like London City hospitals and they had to cancel 48 hours worth of surgeries and they did blood tests. They're serious. And
and our little
we
took care of business.
We wonder why we were chosen.
Right.
Well, I saw in one report, there was over a 25% increase in cyber attacks over the summer. I mean,
Yeah.
AI is just,
It happens.
yeah, they kind of went on a spree and were kind of hitting anything they could get.
Do you have any idea who they are?
They're probably loosely state sponsored, but they mostly operate as a ransomware as a service kind of
Yep,
cyber
yep.
criminal group.
Yep. Got
So, yeah, we as a rural school district, our goal I don't think should be necessarily like we're never going to have the resources to stop those kind of groups. That's
Right.
easy. But
Well, anybody.
what we did do was make sure, like, hey, if this does happen, how quickly can we get back and recover the place? And,
Okay.
really quick.
So
David, I do have one question, and it's just anecdotal, so maybe Jesse or Mike or Roz or Josh, those instructors, our teachers, do you have any anecdotes? Did anybody lose all of their things that happened to be on there? It was either in the cloud or they didn't turn the computer on or
I
what?
think
Happened?
my understanding is it was only David.
Sean, Josh.
Evelyn. Okay.
Investors before working.
But-
Myself.
So
Wow.
once,
I was working during that time too.
Yeah.
okay, so once you put the protections in, then they could open and they had access to their lesson plans? No, yes. No, so
For
you've lost?
teachers.
I lost everything.
Right. and
20
you
years of
lost-
PD parties, all my training,
Oh my gosh.
CSPTA. I'm just rebuilding. It's fine.
Okay, well,
I've
you're a
learned-
national leader now, so,
I have learned how to use Google Docs very well.
okay.
I don't like it because all the buttons are not there,
I know.
but I am learning very well. I have a lot of stuff on Google Doc and backing up everything.
Okay, proud of you as a fellow Gen Xer. So
Huh?
I'm proud of you as a fellow Gen Xer. Good job. And I'm sorry
Good job.
that you lost, because I know you had a lot of training.
I have a lot of that stuff in paper, so CD40 I kept.
Okay.
Yeah, so I
So-
just had to go back upstairs to all my old files and pull a lot of
And
numbers.
you're- oh,
So,
on the real stairs?
no, ma'am, no, I don't have real stairs.
Oh, okay. Sorry I brought it up. Okay.
There's two presidents over my stairs.
Absolutely. You'll get them. Okay, and Mike. Roz, okay, so there's not, I just was envisioning weeping teachers that like, I was ready and then I'm not,
I
yeah.
would like to say, I commend Josh
Josh.
and Jake and the tech team
Mhm.
this summer, right? Because there was a ton of stuff to address. And, man, those guys have been working hard.
Okay.
Every time, I call and say, Josh, I feel guilty, right? But Josh, this isn't working or this isn't working, and he's on it and it's fixed in an hour. But it's amazing how much of a reliance we have on tech. You don't think about it until it goes
Right.
down.
I can't imagine it, right.
It's like everything. So, thanks to Josh and Jake and his team, really did an awesome job.
Okay, awesome. Okay, thank you, kids, too. The three kids probably didn't see very much or saw you strung out, yes. Okay, any other questions or comments from the board? David, you wanna?
I just want to make sure we talked about the teacher evaluation system. I know that was part of the priorities, and so Savannah just had a quick update. I don't know, it was in the board report.
Yeah, my things or I can do that.
No, they're here. Do you make a visual? You know, I like a visual.
I just threw a visual together just so you can see the difference between the two plans we have.
This is how I learn. Okay.
So teachers have always done professional growth plans, and so that piece of it is not new. We've honed in on the goals that we have for those professional growth plans by providing power standards. We have 4 power standards. One is a standards-based lesson and design with clear communication. 2, culture, climate, and classroom management. So you'll see those kind of at the bottom of the pillars. Instructional delivery, pacing and engagement, and informative assessment and data-driven instruction. So those are the power standards, and teachers can choose from those when they're making their goals. They'll have an instructional goal, a measure of student learning, which is MSL, and then a professionalism goal. So those are on the left-hand side and what's called a PGP. On the right-hand side is a PIP. Those aren't for everybody. That's a professional improvement plan. That's something different than what everyone else does. And that is when we're really trying to get a teacher to improve on a couple of strategies or a couple of goals that the administration would like to see.
Let's see, okay. Does anybody start on a PIP?
No.
Right, at the beginning of the year?
At the beginning of the year, there's a chance that a teacher might start on a PIP that's recommended by their administration, but like a first year teacher coming to the district. is not.
their first year, or even a new teacher to our district is going to have a mentor to try and make sure they don't head down that.
Yeah.
Sure, we use that new acronym.
Okay. Okay.
And then so at the end of a year of being on a PIP, or maybe it's a partial year, you can see the 4 outcomes at the bottom there. They can either successfully complete the PIP, they can have an extension of a PIP, they can return to the cycle, or have a personal action plan.
Okay. And what would a personnel action
That
be?
would be determined by the.
Depends.
Yeah, and it kind of depends on like their
The
staff.
scenario. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the difference between successful completion and return to cycle? I think it's not return to cycle. Here, let me just pull this up really quick. This is my AI generated picture that I put all of my documents into and told me to give me a visual. So let me see them to be an error. Hold please.
While we're waiting, I can maybe ask building folks, putting a lot of, is it right for, how are the faculty specifically reacting to this, more emphasis on their evaluations? You guys have any intel on that?
So Savannah talked about it in our opening meeting with all districts, right?
Okay.
To give an
Had it,
overview.
yep.
And then I went more into depth on Friday about what this looks like. And people were open to it.
People are working on.
Yeah, right. There were a few questions. I think once we have our individual meetings with staff, our evaluator meetings, which is kind of like
Yeah.
our first meeting, our orientation meeting.
Mhm.
There'll be more detailed, specific questions when
Okay.
we can talk with teachers one-on-one.
Okay, but not.
But I'm super excited about it because Branda say nice things. It was the degree convoluted, right? And
Very.
sometimes felt like you were jumping through hoops, like you
Yeah.
still had productive conversations. But the work that Michelle did over the summer really zeroed in the evaluation process, right? And makes it more relevant. And so.
Right, and time.
There's a lot of clips in the platform.
Oh, yeah,
Sometimes that can feel meaningless is what staff was saying. And that it was impossible to have so much of a focus on such a big topic. So we honed in.
Never
and
liked
made it
that.
More basic. It's the return to a regular evaluation cycle.
Okay, to a regular. Okay.
So, yeah. That answers my question.
What I might add is we still have that RANDA system because we're part of the state. And so while we work with the state, now that we have some more clarity that we can lean on is where can we get some flexibility so we're not having things that feel like they're not meaningful to staff or don't help them get better, don't give them the feedback. So I'll start working on the state side to see if I can get us any flexibility so that we're not using time on things that people don't find useful or helpful.
So who currently, if the state's not flexible, like who's putting all that time on Randa? Is that the administrators?
I will work hard to figure out how to reduce that. And then we'll come up with strategies, probably sit with the association and say, hey, what are some ideas we have to make sure that we're in the right lane, but also keep an eye meaningful. But I think the work that Savannah and the principals have, everybody's buying into is terms, this is meaningful. So let's put our energy there. I'll figure out how to be compliant and jump through hoops for the state of Colorado. So
That's such a.
me.
Is this only for teachers or does this include like special service providers and paras and stuff like that?
So it wouldn't be classified. Special service providers would be included in that. It's a little bit different. Like if you looked at these 4 power standards, they're about teaching and learning. And a therapist, maybe like an occupational therapist, they have a very unique thing. And so what we try and do there is like, I'll take the psychologist. And so Jessica Bennis, kind of our lead psychologist, she actually goes and has professional conversations with other psychologists. Same thing with speech language pathologists. They kind of evaluate each other and figure out how to make sure it's convenient. And it's all the boxes that you check to check, but the feedback is there in terms of people's quality measures. So, and then the classified, all the classified, it has to be inside of there. They have to get feedback based on their job description. So it's okay. Here are your main responsibilities. So on this bullet, did you meet expectations or not? And that ensures that we're compliant with the law, so we're getting feedback to a custodian based on what we hired them to do. And then if we discover, oh, you're frustrating me because you're not doing what I want you to do. Oh, I forgot to tell you what it is I want you to do. So it ensures that supervisors slow down and make sure that they're clear with the staff they're supervising of what it is they're going to be evaluated on. And so that structure has helped us be pretty efficient with classified. And I think it's been fairly functional. I don't know, look at Sean's got the most. So
Do you want to put anything else? You want to share anything else with us, Savannah?
No, do you have any questions?
I was going to say, is anybody chomping at the bit? I'm excited for it, and I'm glad there's a good culture for it as well.
last thing I'll just point out, you got Andrea here because that's what we're talking about, is school ready and the kitchens are ready. And I just really appreciate Andrea's been a state leader on using local foods. Continues to get a lot of props actually from around the state for her work. And then she started really last year and she's already begun again of getting good training, kind of culinary training from chefs for all of our cooks, which does a great thing for them and helps them be better at their job. But I think it also makes them feel like they're in a good place. So appreciate to Andrea, and everything's ready to go.
Andrea, I have a question. Last year, October, you had the entire month of local meats, fruits, and vegetables. Are you setting a bigger goal, or with the new freezer system that we have, et cetera, from the grant? But do you think we can get a month?
So what I'm hearing,
No, I was just excited about it.
you said, I thought I understood freezer grant, so I apologize. I understand what you're saying. We got a much larger, sum of money this year from the local food program. For the last 5 years, we were one of 32 districts that were in a grant. And then because of I and the other districts that proved that it could be done, it was open to the entire state. So that funding, we're the last 5 years, it was under $5,000. This year will be $27,000.
Okay.
So yes, the entire month, the entire year, we'll be seeing the local food programs.
Wow. So it will be a big site.
And more so in proteins as well. Through the districts, the one that we have funded other organizations that are able to move forward with institutions. Rather than just, for instance, rather than just 1 pound of hamburger, they're providing 10 pounds of hamburger.
Okay, so they're right. They're improving their volume as well. Okay, wow, awesome. Congrats on it. Thank you. Thank you. Anything else on district reports?
School's ready to go. Got a great team.
Right, really great team. Okay, let's go ahead and go to 3. I need a motion to approve the following consent agenda items. Thanks, Jen. Second, Tiffany, thank you. Is there any discussion? Okay, thanks, guys. Good luck at school tomorrow. Okay.
I am.
Good luck, Jesse.
Thank you.
Good luck with your kids too.
And if you are.
Okay.
All right, Dr. Breckenridge Pettit.
Hi.
Dr. Hill.
Aye.
Mrs. Pascal.
Aye.
Dr. Rhodes.
Aye.
Ms. Schiffman.
Aye.
And Mr. Bond.
Okay, there are no discussion items. For those of you who don't come all the time, we usually have a lot of them.